The sound of breaking glass cuts through the busy restaurant. Sarah's face turns red as she stares at the expensive wine bottles scattered across the marble floor. "You clumsy fool." The man in the $1,000 suit points his finger at her face. His voice echoes through the fancy dining room. Every customer stops eating and stares. "Do you have any idea how much that wine costs?" "More than you make in a month." Sarah's hands shake. She's only been working at Romano's fine dining for 2 weeks. She needs this job. Her sick mother's medical bills keep piling up and her little brother needs new school clothes. "I'm so sorry, sir. I'll pay for it." "Please don't pay for it." The man laughs. His gold watch catches the light. "That bottle costs $800. You probably don't even have $80 to your name." The other waiters whisper behind their hands. Sarah feels tears building up. But she won't cry, not here. Not in front of everyone. But what happened next would change everything forever. Hey everyone. You're about to witness one of the most shocking restaurant stories ever caught on camera. A simple waitress writes something that will leave a millionaire completely speechless. But first, this story has a twist that nobody saw coming. Trust me. You need to watch until the very end to see what this waitress did that shocked everyone in the restaurant. Let's dive in. In the corner booth sits a man who looks completely ordinary. His clothes are old and wrinkled. His shoes have holes. His hair needs cutting. Nobody pays attention to him. Not the fancy customers. Not the snobby waiters, nobody. This man's name is Marcus. He's been sitting quietly for 30 minutes just watching. Watching how people treat each other. Watching how the rich customers talk down to the workers. Watching how some people think they're better than others. Marcus knows something nobody else in this restaurant knows, but we'll get to that later. Sarah bends down to pick up the broken glass. Her hands are still shaking. A piece cuts her finger and a drop of blood hits the white floor. "Great, now you're bleeding all over my restaurant." The angry customer throws his napkin at her. It hits Sarah in the face. She closes her eyes for just a second, trying to stay strong. That's enough. Everyone turns. The voice comes from the corner booth. Marcus stands up slowly. His old clothes hang loose on his thin frame. He looks like he hasn't eaten a good meal in days, excuse me. The angry customer stares at Marcus like he's looking at garbage. "Did you just tell me what to do?" Marcus walks over. His old shoes squeak on the marble floor. When he reaches Sarah, he kneels down and helps her pick up the glass. "You okay?" he asks her quietly. Sarah nods, surprised that someone actually cares. The angry customer's face turns purple. "Listen here, you homeless bum. This is none of your business. Go back to whatever park bench you crawled out from." The restaurant manager rushes over. His name is Vincent and he only cares about keeping rich customers happy. "Sir, please return to your table," Vincent says to Marcus. "We'll handle the situation." "How will you handle it?" Marcus asks. His voice is calm but firm. "By letting him humiliate your employee?" Vincent looks nervous. The angry customer is Mr. Harrison, one of their biggest spenders. He comes here every week and drops thousands of dollars. "The customer is always right," Vincent says. "Sarah made a mistake. She needs to face the consequences," Mr. Harrison smirks. "Finally, someone with sense. This waitress owes me $800 plus the cost of dry cleaning my suit. I'm thinking $2,000 total should cover it." Sarah's face goes white. $2,000? She makes minimum wage plus tips. It would take her months to save that much money. "That's not fair," she whispers. "Fair?" Mr. Harrison laughs. "Life isn't fair, sweetheart. Maybe you should have thought about that before you decided to work somewhere you clearly don't belong." The other customers nod along. They're all dressed in expensive clothes, wearing fancy jewelry. To them, Sarah is just the help, someone beneath them. But Marcus sees something different. He sees a young woman working hard to take care of her family. He sees someone with dignity who refuses to give up, even when the world seems against her. "What if I told you that bottle wasn't worth $800? Marcus says. Everyone stares at him. Mr. Harrison's face gets even redder. "What did you say?" Marcus picks up a piece of the broken bottle. He examines the label carefully. "This wine. You said it costs $800? "That's right. It's a 2018 Chateau Margaux. Only the finest palates can appreciate it." Marcus nods slowly. "I see. And you ordered this specific bottle?" "Of course I did. I always order the best." "Interesting." Marcus looks at Vincent. "Can I see your wine menu?" Vincent looks confused but hands over the leather-bound menu. Marcus flips through it, running his finger down the list of wines. Here it is. 2018 Chateau Margaux, $800. Marcus looks up. But there's a problem. What problem? Mr. Harrison snaps. This isn't a 2018 Chateau Margaux. The restaurant goes completely silent. You could hear a pin drop. What are you talking about? Vincent's voice shakes. Marcus holds up the broken bottle piece. Look at the label. Really look at it. The font is wrong. The paper quality is cheap. And the seal. Well, there is no seal. Mr. Harrison grabs the bottle piece from Marcus. His confident expression starts to fade. This is impossible. No, Marcus says calmly. What's impossible is that this restaurant has been serving fake wine to customers and charging real prices. Vincent's face turns white as a sheet. Several customers start murmuring to each other. Some pull out their phones to record. You don't know what you're talking about, Vincent stammers. You're just some homeless guy trying to cause trouble. Marcus smiles for the first time since this whole scene started. Homeless guy? That's interesting. He reaches into his old jacket pocket. Everyone expects him to pull out nothing. Maybe some loose change. Maybe a crumpled dollar bill. Instead, Marcus pulls out a small leather wallet. But it's not just any wallet. Even from across the room, people can see it's made from the finest leather money can buy. You know what's funny? Marcus opens the wallet slowly. People see old clothes and make assumptions. They see someone quiet in the corner and think he doesn't matter. Sarah watches with wide eyes. Something is happening here. Something big. But she can't quite figure out what. Marcus pulls out a business card from his wallet. He hands it to Vincent, who reads it with growing horror. That's impossible, Vincent whispers. What does it say? Mr. Harrison demands. Vincent's hands shake as he reads out loud. Marcus Chen, CEO and founder. Chen Industries, the restaurant erupts in whispers. People pull out their phones, frantically Googling the name. Within seconds, their faces go pale. Chen Industries. One of the biggest companies in the country. Worth billions of dollars. And Marcus Chen, the man they just called homeless, is standing right in front of them. But Sarah doesn't know who Chen Industries is. She doesn't own a smartphone to look it up. She just knows that something incredible is happening. And somehow this kind stranger is helping her. Prove it, Mr. Harrison says. But his voice doesn't sound confident anymore. Marcus pulls out his phone. It's not the latest model, but it works. He dials a number and puts it on speaker. Chen Industries, this is Rebecca speaking. Hi, Rebecca, it's Marcus. Mr. Chen, how's your research going? Very educational. Can you patch me through to Tom in legal? Of course, sir. One moment. Everyone in the restaurant listens to the hold music. Classical. Expensive sounding. Marcus, how's the undercover work going? A new voice comes through the speaker. Confident, professional. Tom, I'm at Romano's Fine Dining on 5th Street. I need you to run a quick check on their wine supplier. On it. Give me 30 seconds. The restaurant is dead quiet. Even the kitchen staff has stopped cooking to listen. Marcus, you're not going to like this. Romano's has been buying fake wine from a company called Premium Imports. We've been tracking them for months. They're selling bottles that cost $20 as $800 vintage. Vincent drops the business card. It flutters to the floor like a falling leaf. Furthermore, Tom continues, Premium Imports is being investigated for fraud. Any restaurant caught serving their wine could face serious legal consequences. Marcus looks at Vincent. Tom, can you do me a favor? Send our lawyer team down here. Looks like we have a case of fraud and employee mistreatment to discuss. Already mobilizing them, Marcus. They'll be there in 20 minutes. Marcus hangs up the phone. The silence is deafening. Mr. Harrison's mouth opens and closes like a fish out of water. He's been yelling at Sarah to pay for an $800 bottle of wine that actually cost $20. But the story gets even crazier. Sarah looks at Marcus with new eyes. This man who helped her, who stood up for her when nobody else would, he's one of the richest people in the country. Why? She asked quietly. Why what? Why did you help me? You don't even know me. Marcus's expression softens. My mother was a waitress. Single mom, worked 3 jobs to keep food on the table. I watched people treat her like she didn't matter just because she served them food. He looks around the restaurant at all the shocked faces. I made a promise to myself back then. If I ever had the power to change things, I would. Every person deserves respect no matter what job they do or how much money they have. Vincent finally finds his voice. Mr. Chen, sir, please. This is all a misunderstanding. We had no idea about the wine. We'll make this right immediately. Will you? Marcus asks. Will you make it right for Sarah here? Will you make it right for all the employees who've been humiliated by customers while you stood by and did nothing? Vincent starts sweating. Romano's Fine Dining has a reputation to protect. If word gets out that they've been serving fake wine and allowing employees to be mistreated, they could lose everything. Of course, sir. Sarah, please accept our deepest apologies. And Mr. Harrison will refund your entire meal and… No. Everyone turns to look at Marcus. That's not enough. What Marcus does next will shock you even more. Marcus walks over to where Sarah is still kneeling on the floor. He extends his hand to help her up. Sarah, right? She nods, still in disbelief. Tell me about yourself. What do you want to do with your life? Sarah looks around nervously. All these important people are staring at her. I want to go to nursing school. My mom is sick and I want to help people like her. What's stopping you? Money. Nursing school is expensive and I need to work to pay for Mom's treatments. Marcus nods thoughtfully. What if I told you that problem could be solved today? Sarah's eyes widen. What do you mean? Marcus turns to address the entire restaurant. His voice carries authority that makes everyone listen. Ladies and gentlemen, you've all witnessed something important today. You saw a hard-working young woman get humiliated for an accident. You saw people judge others based on their appearance. You saw a restaurant serve fake products at real prices. He pauses, letting his words sink in. But you also saw something else. You saw someone who refused to give up, someone who maintained her dignity, even when others tried to take it away, someone who puts her family's needs before her own. Marcus looks directly at Sarah. That's the kind of person I want working for my company. The restaurant gasps collectively. Sarah, how would you like a job at Chen Industries? Full healthcare coverage for you and your mother, full tuition paid for nursing school, and a salary that will let you focus on your studies instead of worrying about money. Sarah's legs almost give out. She grabs onto a nearby chair for support. Are you serious? I'm very serious. But I have one condition. Sarah's heart sinks. There's always a catch. What condition? Marcus smiles. You have to promise me that when you become a nurse, you'll treat every patient with the same respect you'd want for your own mother. Rich or poor, famous or unknown, deal? Tears start flowing down Sarah's cheeks. But these aren't tears of humiliation like before. These are tears of joy, of hope, of dreams coming true. Deal, she whispers. The restaurant erupts in applause. Even some of the customers who were quiet before start clapping. They've just witnessed something magical. But Mr. Harrison isn't clapping. He's standing there with his mouth hanging open, realizing he just humiliated someone who's about to become very successful. Vincent isn't clapping either. He's calculating how much this is going to cost his restaurant. Chen Industries could shut them down with one phone call. Marcus isn't done yet. He pulls out his wallet again and takes out a credit card. Not just any credit card. A black card that only the wealthiest people in the world possess. Vincent, Marcus calls out. I'd like to place an order. Vincent rushes over, practically tripping over his own feet. Yes, sir. Anything you want. On the house, of course. No, Marcus says firmly. I pay for what I order. I want your finest steak dinner. The real one, not the fake version. Vincent nods frantically. Of course. Our chef will prepare it personally. Good. And Vincent? Yes, sir? Sarah will be taking my order and serving my meal, and I'll be leaving her a tip that reflects the quality of service I expect to receive. Sarah looks confused. But Mr. Chen, I don't understand. You already offered me a job. Why do you want me to serve you dinner? Marcus's expression becomes serious. Because your shift isn't over yet. You're still a professional and I'm still a customer. The fact that your life is about to change doesn't mean you stop doing your current job with pride. It's a lesson that hits everyone in the restaurant. Success doesn't mean abandoning your values or forgetting where you came from. Sarah straightens her shoulders. She wipes away her tears and smooths down her uniform. When she speaks, her voice is clear and strong. What can I get started for you today, sir? The transformation is remarkable. Just minutes ago, Sarah was on her knees picking up broken glass while being humiliated. Now she stands tall, confident, ready to give the best service she's ever given. I'll have the ribeye steak medium rare, roasted vegetables. And bring me your wine list, the real one this time. Sarah nods professionally. Excellent choice, sir. I'll have the chef begin preparing that immediately. As Sarah walks toward the kitchen, she passes Mr. Harrison's table. He's still sitting there, stunned by everything that's happened. Miss, he calls out quietly. Sarah stops and turns. Yes, sir? For a moment, Mr. Harrison can't find the words. This young woman he was screaming at 15 minutes ago is about to become more successful than he ever dreamed possible. I owe you an apology. Sarah looks at him for a long moment. She could be angry. She could ignore him. She could make him feel as small as he made her feel. Instead, she does something that surprises everyone. Apology accepted, sir. We all make mistakes. What matters is what we do next. Her grace and maturity in that moment leaves everyone speechless. Here's someone who just got offered a life-changing opportunity, and she's still choosing kindness over revenge. Mr. Harrison nods gratefully. You're going to do great things. Thank you, Sarah says simply, then continues toward the kitchen. Marcus watches this exchange with approval. He's already decided that hiring Sarah is the right choice, but her response to Mr. Harrison confirms it. While Sarah is placing the order, Marcus's phone buzzes. It's a text from his assistant. Lawyers are outside. Should they come in? Marcus types back. Not yet. Let me handle this first. He looks around the restaurant. Every customer and employee is watching him, wondering what will happen next. Vincent, Marcus calls out. The manager practically runs over. Yes, Mr. Chen? We need to talk about your business practices. Vincent's face goes white again. Sir, I assure you we had no idea about the wine situation. We'll fire our supplier immediately and… Marcus holds up his hand. It's not just about the wine. He points to the floor where Sarah was cleaning up broken glass just minutes ago. It's about how you treat your employees, how you let customers abuse your staff, how you've created a culture where money matters more than human dignity. Vincent starts to speak, but Marcus continues. I've been coming to restaurants like this for months, always dressed like this, always sitting quietly in the corner. Want to know what I've learned? Vincent nods nervously. I've learned that most places reveal their true character when they think nobody important is watching. The real shock is still coming. Marcus reaches into his jacket again. This time he pulls out a small notebook. It's worn and filled with handwritten notes. Every restaurant I visit gets rated on 3 things: quality of food, treatment of employees, and how they handle conflict. He flips through several pages of notes. Vincent can see scores, comments, and detailed observations. Romano's just failed 2 out of 3 categories spectacularly. Vincent's face drains of all color. Mr. Chen, please. Give us another chance. We'll do better. We'll change everything. Will you? Or will you go back to the same behavior as soon as I leave? Before Vincent can answer, Sarah returns with a bread basket and water for Marcus. Your steak will be ready in about 15 minutes, sir. In the meantime, can I tell you about our appetizer specials? Her professionalism is flawless. Despite everything that's happened, she's focused on doing her job well. Marcus smiles. Actually, Sarah, I have a question for you. Of course, sir. In the 2 weeks you've worked here, how many times have you seen a customer treat an employee badly? Sarah thinks carefully. Honestly, it happens almost every day. And what does management typically do about it? Sarah glances nervously at Vincent, then back at Marcus. They usually tell us the customer is always right and to just deal with it. Vincent starts to protest, but Marcus silences him with a look. One more question. Sarah, if you were running this restaurant, what would you do differently? Sarah considers this seriously. I'd make sure all employees felt respected. I'd train staff to stand up for each other. And I'd never let anyone get away with treating people badly no matter how much money they spend. Marcus nods approvingly. That's exactly what a good leader would say. He turns back to Vincent. Your employee just demonstrated better management principles than you have. Vincent looks like he wants to disappear into the floor. Marcus's phone buzzes again. This time he answers it. Yes, Rebecca? Mr. Chen, the story is already hitting social media. Someone in the restaurant posted a video. It's going viral. Marcus looks around and notices several customers with their phones out. In today's world, nothing stays private for long. What's the reaction? Overwhelmingly positive. People are calling you a hero for standing up for the waitress. But sir, there's something else. What? 3 other restaurants have called in the last 10 minutes. They all want to book private dinners with you. Word is spreading fast about your undercover work. Marcus laughs. So much for staying undercover. He hangs up and looks at Sarah. Looks like your story is inspiring people all over the internet. Sarah's eyes widen. My story? Someone recorded what happened here. The video is being shared thousands of times. People love seeing someone stand up for what's right. Just then, Marcus's legal team walks through the restaurant door. 3 lawyers in expensive suits carrying briefcases and looking very serious. The head lawyer approaches Marcus. Mr. Chen, we've reviewed the wine situation. Romanos could face serious charges for fraud. Vincent looks like he might faint, but Marcus holds up his hand. Actually, I want to try a different approach first. He looks at Vincent. I'm going to make you an offer. One chance to make this right. Anything, Vincent says desperately. Just tell me what you want. Marcus pulls out his business card holder and removes another card. But this one is different. It's not his personal card. This is the contact information for my corporate social responsibility team. They specialize in helping businesses improve their workplace culture. He hands the card to Vincent. Here's the deal. You work with my team for the next 6 months. You implement real changes in how employees are treated. You train your staff on respect and dignity, and you prove to me that Romanos can be the kind of place where people like Sarah are valued. Vincent stares at the card like it's a lifeline. If you do all that successfully, Chen Industries will consider partnering with Romanos for our corporate events. That's potentially millions of dollars in business. Vincent's eyes light up with hope. But, Marcus continues, his voice getting stern, if you go back to your old ways, if you let customers abuse employees, if you cut corners on quality, we'll make sure everyone knows about it. Vincent nods frantically. Yes, sir. We'll change everything. I promise. Marcus turns to his legal team. Monitor the situation. Make sure they follow through. The lawyers nod and start discussing details with Vincent. While they talk, Sarah approaches Marcus with his water refill. Mr. Chen? Yes, can I ask you something personal? Marcus nods. Why do you do this? The undercover thing, I mean. You're already successful. You could just enjoy your money. Marcus is quiet for a moment, thinking about how to answer. Sarah, success without purpose is just empty numbers in a bank account. My mother worked her whole life serving other people. She taught me that real success means using whatever power you have to make life better for others. He looks around the restaurant. Every time I go undercover like this, I learn something new about how the world really works. Today I learned about you, your strength, your character, your dreams. That's worth more than any business deal I've ever made. Sarah feels tears starting again, but she blinks them back. She's working right now, and professionals don't cry on the job. Thank you, she says simply, for everything. But the biggest surprise is still to come. The kitchen doors swing open and the head chef himself brings out Marcus's steak. This never happens. The chef usually stays hidden in the back. But when a billionaire CEO is eating at your restaurant, everything changes. Mr. Chen, the chef says nervously. I personally prepared your ribeye. I hope it meets your expectations. Marcus cuts into the steak. It's perfect. Medium rare, just like he ordered. The juices run clear and the meat looks incredible. It's excellent, Marcus says. Thank you. The chef beams with pride and hurries back to the kitchen. But Marcus notices something else. Sarah has been standing nearby, watching carefully. Not like a waitress checking on her table. More like someone studying every detail. Sarah, is everything okay? She hesitates for a moment. Can I ask you something, Mr. Chen? Of course. How did you know? About the wine, I mean. How did you know it was fake just by looking at it? Marcus takes another bite of his steak. Experience. I've been collecting wine for 20 years. When you've seen thousands of real bottles, the fake ones stand out. But it wasn't just the wine, was it? You knew something was wrong with this place before the wine incident. Marcus looks at Sarah with new interest. She's not just hardworking and kind. She's also very observant. What makes you say that? Sarah glances around to make sure nobody is listening. Then she leans in closer. You've been taking notes since you sat down. I saw you writing when that couple at table 6 sent their food back 3 times. I saw you writing when Vincent yelled at Tommy in the kitchen. You were studying this place. Marcus sets down his fork. You're very perceptive. My mom always said I notice things other people miss. It's why I want to be a nurse. You have to pay attention to details that could save someone's life. Your mother sounds like a wise woman. Sarah's expression grows sad. She is, or she was before the cancer. Marcus feels his heart tighten. I'm sorry. How is she doing now? Some days are better than others. The treatments are working, but they're so expensive. That's why... Sarah stops herself. That's why you need this job so badly. Sarah nods. I was so scared when that man yelled at me. Not because of the money, really. I was scared I'd get fired and wouldn't be able to help Mom anymore. Marcus understands now why Sarah handled everything with such grace. She wasn't just protecting her own dignity. She was fighting for her mother's life. Sarah, can I tell you something? Sure. In all my years in business, I've learned that the best employees aren't the ones with the fanciest degrees or the most experience. They're the ones who work with purpose. People who have something bigger than themselves driving them forward. Sarah looks confused. What do you mean? You're not just working for a paycheck. You're working for love, for family. That makes you incredibly valuable. Before Sarah can respond, her phone buzzes. She glances at it and her face goes pale. What's wrong? Marcus asks. It's the hospital. They want me to come in. Something about Mom's test results. Sarah's hands start shaking. Marcus can see the fear in her eyes. Go, he says immediately. But I can't leave work. Vincent will fire me for sure. Marcus stands up. Vincent! The manager rushes over, still looking nervous from their earlier conversation. Yes, Mr. Chen? Sarah needs to leave for a family emergency. You're giving her the rest of the night off with full pay. Vincent starts to object. But sir, we have rules about... Marcus's expression hardens. Are you really going to argue with me about this? No, sir. Of course not. Sarah, take all the time you need. Sarah looks back and forth between Marcus and Vincent. But what about your dinner? What about the service? Marcus pulls out his wallet. The dinner was perfect. The service was outstanding. He places several bills on the table. Sarah's eyes widen when she sees the amount. It's a $500 tip for a $40 meal. Mr. Chen, this is too much. No, Marcus says firmly. This is exactly what excellent service is worth. Sarah's eyes fill with tears again. Thank you. For everything. I don't know how to repay you. Just take care of your mother. And Sarah? Yes? Whatever the hospital says, remember that you're not alone anymore. Chen Industries has the best health insurance in the country. Starting tomorrow, your mother will have access to any treatment she needs. Sarah covers her mouth with her hand. She can't believe this is really happening. I have to go, she whispers. Of course. And Sarah? Text me when you know something. Here's my personal number. Marcus hands her another business card. This one has his direct cell phone number written on the back. Sarah takes the card like it's made of gold. A few hours ago, she was just another waitress struggling to survive. Now she has the personal phone number of one of the richest men in the country. She hurries toward the door, then stops and turns back. Mr. Chen? Why me? Out of all the people in the world, why did you choose to help me? Marcus thinks for a moment. Do you know what I saw when I watched you tonight? Sarah shakes her head. I saw someone who treated every customer with respect even when they didn't deserve it. I saw someone who worked hard without complaining. I saw someone who cared more about doing the right thing than protecting herself. He pauses. But most importantly, I saw someone who reminded me of my mother. Sarah wipes away her tears and straightens her shoulders. I won't let you down. I know you won't. After Sarah leaves, Marcus sits back down to finish his meal. But the restaurant has changed. Word has spread about what happened. Customers are whispering and pointing. Some are taking pictures. Vincent approaches cautiously. Mr. Chen, is there anything else you need? Actually, yes. I want to speak with your entire staff. Waiters, cooks, busboys, everyone. Vincent looks nervous. Right now? Right now. Within 10 minutes, every employee at Romano's is gathered around Marcus's table. They're all curious and a little scared. When a billionaire wants to talk to you, it's either very good news or very bad news. I want to tell you all something important. Marcus begins. What happened here tonight with Sarah could have happened to any of you. The employees nod. They've all been yelled at by rude customers before. But here's what I want you to understand. Your worth as a person isn't determined by how much money you make or what job you do. Every single one of you deserves to be treated with respect. A young busboy raises his hand. But what can we do about it? The customers have all the power. Marcus smiles. Do they? Let me ask you something. What happens to this restaurant if all of you decide not to come to work tomorrow? The employees look at each other. They've never thought about it that way. The restaurant shuts down, someone says. Exactly. You have more power than you think. But power comes with responsibility. Marcus looks around at all the faces watching him. I'm going to make you all an offer. Any employee here who wants career development, who wants to learn new skills, who wants to advance in the hospitality industry, Chen Industries will provide training and mentorship. The room erupts in excited whispers. But, Marcus continues. I expect something in return. The room goes quiet again. I expect you to treat each other the way you want to be treated. I expect you to stand up for your co-workers when customers get out of line. I expect you to take pride in your work. An older waiter speaks up. Mr. Chen, what about management? What if they don't support us? Marcus looks directly at Vincent. Management is going to change. Right, Vincent? Vincent nods quickly. Absolutely. Starting tomorrow, we'll implement new policies to protect our staff. Good. And to make sure those changes stick, I'll be back. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week. But I'll be back. And I'll be watching. Marcus stands up to leave, but then he has an idea. One more thing. I want each of you to write down 3 changes you think would make this restaurant a better place to work. Give your ideas to Vincent. The best suggestions will be implemented immediately. As Marcus heads toward the door, his phone rings. He sees Sarah's name on the screen. Sarah? How's your mother? Mr. Chen? Sarah's voice is shaky, but there's something different about it. The doctors say the new treatment is working better than they hoped. Mom might be able to come home next week, Marcus smiles. That's wonderful news, but that's not why I'm calling. Oh? I'm still at the hospital and there's something I need to tell you. Something I should have told you earlier. Marcus stops walking. What is it? When I was serving you tonight, I noticed something. The way you ate, the way you held your fork, the way you cut your meat. Marcus is confused. I don't understand. My mom taught me to pay attention to details, remember? Well, I noticed that you eat left-handed, but you write with your right hand, so I asked myself why someone would switch hands for different activities. And then I remembered something from when I was little. Sarah's voice gets emotional. 20 years ago, my dad was in a car accident. He was in the hospital for months. During that time, there was a man who visited the children's ward every week. He would bring books and toys and just sit with kids whose parents couldn't be there. Marcus's heart starts beating faster. This man had injured his left hand in an accident, so he had to learn to write with his right hand, but he still ate with his left hand because that felt natural. Marcus can barely breathe. Sarah, I was 8 years old and my dad was dying. My mom was working 3 jobs and could barely visit, but this man, this stranger, would sit with me and read stories. He told me that no matter how hard things got, good people would always find ways to help each other. Marcus's eyes fill with tears. One day I asked him his name. He said it didn't matter, but that someday when I was older I should find ways to help other people too. Just before Dad died, the man gave me a book of fairy tales. Inside the cover he had written something. Marcus knows what she's going to say before she says it. He wrote, "For Sarah, dream big, work hard, and always be kind. The world needs more people like you." And he signed it MC. What happens next will leave you speechless. Marcus has to sit down on a bench outside the hospital. His legs won't support him anymore. Sarah, are you saying? I'm saying that the man who saved my family 20 years ago just saved my family again. And I don't think that's a coincidence. Marcus tries to speak, but no words come out. Mr. Chen, are you still there? Finally, Marcus finds his voice. I remember you. You do? Little girl with pigtails and a stuffed elephant. You used to fall asleep during story time. Sarah laughs through her tears. His name was Mr. Peanuts, and you always asked for the same story, Cinderella, because she worked hard and good things happened to her. Marcus wipes his eyes. 20 years ago, he was just starting his business. He wasn't rich yet, but he had enough to help. He spent every Saturday at the hospital because he remembered what it felt like to be a scared kid with nowhere to turn. Sarah, I need you to know something. What? That little girl taught me as much as I taught her. Watching you be brave while your father was dying, it inspired me to never give up on my own dreams. Really? Really? And do you know what the best part is? What? You kept your promise. You grew up and found ways to help other people. Every day you take care of your mother. Every time you're kind to difficult customers, every moment you choose love over anger. You're doing exactly what I hoped you would do. Sarah is crying now, but they're happy tears. So what happens now? She asks. Marcus looks back at the restaurant, then at the city skyline glittering in the distance. Now we change the world, one act of kindness at a time, but the story isn't over yet. Because when Marcus goes back to pay his check, Sarah has left something that will shock him even more than anything that's happened so far. Marcus walks back into Romano's to get his credit card. The restaurant is buzzing with energy. Employees are excitedly discussing the changes that are coming. Vincent is on the phone, probably with his suppliers trying to fix the wine situation. Marcus's place setting is still on the table. His credit card is there, along with the receipt for his meal. But there's something else. A folded piece of paper tucked under his water glass. Marcus opens the paper. It's a note from Sarah, written on the back of an order pad. Her handwriting is neat and careful. Mr. Chen, I don't know if you remember me, but you changed my life when I was 8 years old. You taught me that strangers can become angels when they choose kindness. Tonight you became my angel again. But I want you to know something. You were never just helping me. All those nights you spent reading to scared kids, all the toys and books you brought. You were teaching us that love is stronger than fear. You taught me to dream big. You taught me to work hard. But most importantly, you taught me to recognize goodness when I see it. I saw it in you 20 years ago when you had very little money but shared it anyway. I saw it in you tonight when you had everything but still chose to help a struggling waitress. Thank you for showing me that success isn't about what you have. It's about what you give. I promise to spend my life passing on the kindness you've shown me. With love and gratitude, Sarah. P.S. I still have the fairy tale book, and I'm finally living my own fairy tale thanks to you. Marcus reads the note 3 times. By the 3rd time, his hands are shaking. He looks around the restaurant. Vincent is watching him nervously, probably wondering what the note says. The other customers have mostly gone back to their meals, but a few are still sneaking glances at him. Marcus folds the note carefully and puts it in his wallet, right next to the business cards and credit cards. But unlike those things, this note is priceless. His phone rings. It's his assistant, Rebecca. Marcus? The story has exploded online. The video has over 1 million views already. Marcus walks outside to take the call. What are people saying? They're calling it the most inspiring thing they've seen all year. Undercover Angel is trending worldwide. And Marcus? Yes? We're getting calls from employees at restaurants all over the country. They want to know if you'll come to their workplace too. Marcus looks back at Romano's through the window. He can see the employees still gathered together, planning and hoping and dreaming about the changes coming to their workplace. Rebecca, clear my schedule for the next month. The whole month? But you have the board meeting, the investor presentation, Cancel them. I have more important work to do. What kind of work? Marcus smiles. The kind that actually matters. The biggest revelation is still coming. 3 weeks later, Marcus sits in his office on the 40th floor of Chen Industries headquarters. Through his window, he can see the entire city spread out below him. But today he's not looking at the view. He's reading reports from his team. Romano's fine dining has transformed completely. Vincent implemented every single suggestion from his employees. The fake wine supplier was fired and reported to authorities. Customer complaints dropped by 90%. Employee satisfaction scores hit an all-time high. But more importantly, the story has inspired restaurants across the country to examine their own practices. The Undercover Angel movement has gone global. Marcus's assistant, Rebecca, walks in with a stack of letters. More fan mail, she says with a smile. People are sharing their own stories of kindness. Marcus picks up one of the letters. It's from a teenager in Ohio whose teacher stood up for him when bullies picked on his old clothes. Another letter is from a nurse who says the story inspired her to treat every patient like family. It's amazing how one act of kindness can ripple outward, Rebecca observes. Marcus nods. But his mind is elsewhere. He's thinking about Sarah. True to his promise, Chen Industries paid for her mother's cancer treatments. The experimental therapy is working even better than doctors hoped. Sarah started nursing school last week and her grades are perfect. But that's not what makes Marcus proudest. Sarah has started volunteering at the children's hospital. Every Saturday she reads stories to kids whose parents can't be there. She brings books and toys and hope. She's passing on the kindness she received 20 years ago. Mr. Chen? Rebecca's voice breaks his thoughts. There's someone here to see you. She doesn't have an appointment, but she says it's important. Marcus looks up from the letters. Who is it? Sarah Martinez. Marcus's heart skips. Sarah should be in nursing school right now. Why is she here? Send her up immediately. 5 minutes later, Sarah walks into Marcus's office. She's wearing her nursing school uniform and carrying a small gift bag. She looks nervous but determined. Sarah, is everything okay? How's your mother? Sarah smiles. Mom is doing great. The doctors say she'll be cancer-free within 6 months. Marcus feels relief wash over him. That's wonderful news. But why aren't you in class? I have a break between classes, and there's something I need to show you. Sarah reaches into her gift bag and pulls out an old, worn book. Marcus recognizes it immediately. It's the fairy tale book he gave her 20 years ago. I told you I still had it, Sarah says softly. Marcus takes the book with trembling hands. The cover is faded and the pages are yellowed, but it's been well loved. He opens to the front page and sees his own handwriting from 2 decades ago. For Sarah, dream big, work hard, and always be kind. The world needs more people like you. MC. I read this book every night when Dad was dying, Sarah says, and every night after Mom got sick. It reminded me that even in the darkest times, good things can happen if you don't give up. Marcus's eyes fill with tears. Sarah, why are you showing me this? Because I want you to see something. Sarah flips through the pages. Throughout the book, in the margins and between lines, are notes in Sarah's handwriting. Some are from when she was a child, written in crayon and colored pencil. Others are more recent, written in neat pen. Marcus reads some of the notes aloud. Age 8. I want to help sick people like the nice man helps me. Age 12. Mom is working so hard. I will work hard too. Age 16. Maybe I can't be a princess, but I can be a nurse. Age 22. Dreams do come true if you're patient and kind. Last week, angels are real. They look like ordinary people, but they change everything. Marcus can barely see the pages through his tears. Sarah, this is incredible. You documented your entire journey. That's not why I'm here, Sarah says. I'm here because I want to give you something. She reaches into her bag again and pulls out a brand new notebook. It's leather-bound and expensive looking. What's this? It's for your new mission. The one where you help other restaurants and businesses treat their employees better. Sarah opens the notebook. On the first page, she's written an inscription. For Marcus Chen, my guardian angel. Thank you for teaching me that one person's kindness can change the world. Now go change more worlds. With love, Sarah. P.S. The first person you help should know they're not alone. Marcus stares at the notebook. It's beautiful and thoughtful. But more than that, it represents something profound. The little girl he helped has grown into a woman who wants to help others. Sarah, I can't accept this. It's too much. No, Sarah says firmly. It's not enough. Nothing I could ever give you would be enough to repay what you've done for my family. She sits down across from his desk. But I didn't come here just to give you a gift. I came to tell you about something that happened yesterday. Marcus leans forward, curious. I was at the hospital reading to the kids like I do every Saturday. There was this little boy, maybe 7 years old. His parents both work 3 jobs and can't visit much. He was so sad, just like I used to be. Sarah's voice gets emotional. I was reading him Cinderella, the same story you used to read to me, and when I finished, he asked me the same question I used to ask you. What question? He asked why bad things happen to good people. Marcus remembers that question. Sarah asked it every single week when her father was dying. What did you tell him? I told him what you told me, that bad things do happen and that's not fair. But good people exist too, and they're always looking for ways to help. I told him that kindness is stronger than sadness and love is stronger than fear. Sarah wipes away a tear. Then he asked me if I thought anyone would ever help his family. And you know what I said? Marcus shakes his head. I said yes, absolutely. Because I know someone who makes impossible things happen. Sarah looks directly at Marcus. His name is Tommy Rodriguez. His mom cleans offices at night, and his dad works construction during the day. They're good people who work hard, but medical bills are crushing them. Marcus already knows what Sarah is going to ask. You want me to help them. I want you to help him the way you helped me. Not because you have to, but because that's who you are. Marcus looks out his window at the city below. Somewhere out there, a little boy is lying in a hospital bed, wondering if anyone cares about him, just like Sarah was 20 years ago. What's his room number? Sarah smiles. 324, but Marcus, yes? Don't tell him you're a billionaire. Just be a friend who happens to have some books and time to spare. Marcus laughs. You want me to go undercover again? I want you to be yourself. The same person who helped a scared little girl believe in fairy tales. That afternoon, Marcus walks into the children's hospital. He's wearing old jeans and a simple t-shirt. In his hands, he carries a bag full of books and toys. He finds room 324 and knocks softly. Come in, says a small voice. Marcus opens the door and sees Tommy Rodriguez. He's thin and pale with big brown eyes that look too sad for a 7-year-old. Hi there, I'm Marcus. I heard you might like some company. Tommy looks suspicious. Are you a doctor? Nope, just someone who likes to read stories to kids. Marcus sits down in the chair next to Tommy's bed. What kind of stories? Tommy asks. Marcus opens his bag and pulls out several books. What kind do you like? Adventure, fantasy, fairy tales? Tommy's eyes light up when he sees the books. Fairy tales! But his face falls. Those are just pretend stories. Real life isn't like that. Marcus feels his heart break a little. This child is too young to be so cynical. Can I tell you a secret, Tommy? The boy nods. Fairy tales are real. They just don't happen the way we expect them to. Marcus opens one of the books. Once upon a time, there was a little girl whose daddy was very sick. She was scared and sad, and she thought no one cared about her. Tommy leans in, interested despite himself. But then one day, a stranger came to read her stories. He didn't have magic powers or a fancy castle. He was just a regular person who decided to be kind. What happened to the little girl? She grew up and became a nurse. And you know what the best part is? What? She started reading stories to other kids who were scared and sad. Because kindness spreads like magic. Tommy thinks about this. Is that little girl real? Very real. In fact, she's the one who told me about you. Tommy's eyes widen. Really? Really. Her name is Sarah, and she wanted me to tell you something important. What? Marcus leans closer and speaks softly. She wanted me to tell you that you're not alone, and that good things can happen even when everything seems dark. Tommy is quiet for a moment. Then he asks, will you read me a story? I'd love to. As Marcus opens the book and begins to read, he feels the same sense of purpose he felt 20 years ago. This is why he works so hard. This is why he built his company. Not for the money or the fame, but for moments like this. Outside Tommy's room, Sarah watches through the window. She had followed Marcus to the hospital, wanting to see the magic happen again. She sees Tommy's face light up as Marcus reads. She sees the hope returning to the little boy's eyes. She sees the circle of kindness continuing. Sarah pulls out her phone and sends Marcus a text. Thank you for teaching me that fairy tales are real. Now you're creating a new one. But what happens next is the most beautiful part of all. 6 months later, Marcus stands on a stage in front of 500 business leaders. He's giving the keynote speech at the National Restaurant Association conference. The title of his talk is The Hidden Cost of Kindness, Why Treating Employees Well is Good for Business. In the audience, Sarah sits in the front row. She's wearing her new nursing uniform, having just graduated at the top of her class. Next to her sits her mother, healthy and cancer-free. In the row behind them are Vincent and several employees from Romano's, which has become one of the most successful restaurants in the city. But Marcus isn't talking about profits and productivity. He's telling a different kind of story. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you about the most successful business investment I ever made. It didn't cost me millions of dollars. It didn't require months of planning or teams of consultants. It cost me exactly $40 and took less than an hour. The audience leans forward, curious. 6 months ago, I had dinner at a restaurant where I watched a young woman get humiliated for an accident. I could have stayed quiet. I could have minded my own business. I could have finished my meal and left. Marcus looks directly at Sarah. Instead, I stood up. I spoke out. I chose kindness over convenience. He clicks to the next slide, which shows a graph of Romano's performance over the past 6 months. Revenue is up 300%. Employee turnover is down 95%. Customer satisfaction scores are the highest in the city. That $40 investment in human dignity has generated over $2 million in positive change for that restaurant. Alone, the audience murmurs appreciatively, but here's what the numbers don't show. That young woman I helped? She's now a registered nurse who volunteers at a children's hospital every weekend. The employees who saw kindness in action? They've started treating customers and each other better. The customers who witnessed respect? They've started demanding it at other establishments. Marcus clicks to another slide showing dozens of news articles about businesses improving their workplace culture. Kindness is contagious. When you treat one person with dignity, it spreads to everyone they meet. He pauses, looking out at all the faces watching him. I've spent the last 6 months visiting restaurants, hotels, and retail stores across the country. Always undercover, always watching, and I've learned something important. The businesses that succeed long-term aren't the ones that squeeze every penny from their employees. They're the ones that invest in human dignity. They're the ones that remember that behind every uniform is a person with dreams, fears, and family they love. Marcus clicks to a final slide. It's a photo of him reading to children at the hospital, with Sarah in the background helping a young patient. This is my new business model. Instead of just making money, we make a difference. Instead of just building profits, we build people up. The audience erupts in applause. Several business leaders stand up, then more, until the entire room is on their feet. But Marcus isn't done yet. I have an announcement to make. Shen Industries is launching a new initiative called the Dignity at Work Foundation. We're going to provide free training, resources, and support to any business that wants to improve how they treat their employees. The applause gets louder, and we're starting with a challenge. For the next year, I'll continue my undercover visits, but this time businesses that demonstrate exceptional kindness to their employees will receive funding to expand their operations. Marcus looks directly at the camera that's broadcasting his speech live. To every employee watching this, your dignity matters. Your dreams matter. You deserve to work in a place where you're treated with respect. He turns to address the business owners in the audience, and to every employer, you have the power to change someone's life today. Not with a big gesture or expensive program, but with simple human kindness. Respect your employees. Defend them when customers get out of line. Remember that they're human beings, not just labor costs. The standing ovation continues for 3 full minutes. After the speech, Sarah approaches the stage. Marcus comes down to meet her. "How did I do?" he asks. "You were perfect." But Marcus, "Yes, I have news." Sarah's face is glowing with excitement. "Tommy Rodriguez? The little boy you've been visiting at the hospital?" Marcus nods. "How's he doing?" "His parents just got jobs at Chen Industries. Good jobs with full health care and education benefits. And Tommy? He's going to be released from the hospital next week, completely healthy." Marcus feels his heart swell with joy. "But that's not the best part," Sarah continues. "What's the best part?" Sarah pulls out her phone and shows Marcus a video. It's Tommy, sitting in his hospital bed reading a story to a younger patient. He's decided he wants to help other kids just like you helped him. The circle keeps growing. Marcus watches the video and sees Tommy carefully turning the pages of a fairy tale book, reading with the same gentle voice Marcus used with him. "Once upon a time," Tommy reads to the little girl in the next bed, "there was a magic man who taught everyone that being kind was the most powerful thing in the world." Marcus and Sarah look at each other and smile. "You know what this means?" Sarah asks. "What?" "We're living in a fairy tale. And the best part is we get to help write the ending for other people too." As they leave the conference hall together, Marcus thinks about how one moment of kindness has rippled outward to touch thousands of lives. The waitress he helped has become a nurse. The little boy she introduced him to is becoming a helper himself. The businesses that change their practices are creating better lives for countless employees. And somewhere in the city, in restaurants and hospitals and schools, ordinary people are choosing kindness over convenience, dignity over profit, hope over fear. Because sometimes, the most powerful thing in the world is simply treating each other like human beings who matter. The end. What would you do if you saw someone being treated unfairly? Would you speak up or would you stay quiet? Marcus Chen proved that one person's courage can change everything. But this story isn't just about a billionaire helping a waitress. It's about all of us and the choices we make every single day. If this story inspired you, here's your challenge. This week, find one way to show kindness to someone who serves you. A waiter, a cashier, a bus driver, a janitor. Look them in the eye. Say thank you. Treat them like they matter. Because they do. Remember, you don't need to be rich to be someone's hero. You just need to care. Never judge people by their appearance. Never underestimate the power of kindness. And never forget that your actions today might change someone's entire tomorrow. What would you do? Let us know in the comments below. And if you believe that kindness can change the world, share this story with someone who needs to hear it. Because every fairy tale starts with someone who decides to be brave.